So before I start showing you how to go about mixing your vocals and mastering it on FL Studio, I discovered that you loaded hypersonic twice, which is wrong. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna replace this with a MIDI out, and I'm gonna select that tone which you use. I don't know which of them, but let me just use this one. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over this VST wrapper settings, and I'll input a port of 0. You can use 1, 2, or any one. So I'll use 0, and I'll come over to processing, and I'll say auto map outputs. So I'm going to look for the MIDI information you played on this second hypersonic you loaded. Okay, it's still there. So I didn't delete the hypersonic, I just replaced it with a MIDI out. So let's see if it's gonna play. You see, it plays. If you're using any plugin that has a lot of outputs, you don't need to load them twice. Just put the sound you want right there, then you do the mix, then you select 2, because it's the output now is on 1, which means this guy now is gonna sound in this order in its master. So because I selected 2 now, it's gonna come out of its own bus. So let me make arrangements for the vocals. So I've added them here. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna create a new track, and I'm gonna call this main vocals. Main vocals, then backup vocals, just like we did on Cubase. This is like a group. I'm creating main vocals, then I'm going to add another one for all the vocals. Okay, and I'm still going to create another one now for the beats. That is for the instrumental. But another way to do this is to first of all export your instrumental so that you can save some CPU and your RAM. So how I'm going to do this now is I'm going to select all of the instruments, including the drums. I'm going to add them here, and I'll come over to this up triangle. I'll right click on it and I'll say route to this track only. So what this does is that all these instruments are going to be controlled by this bus. So for example, now if I should play, okay, if I should play the beats, yeah. If I should drop this now, you see it's only the vocals that is playing.
If loving you not taboo,
so I'm gonna raise it up back.
Girl, I don't mind no fetaku. I'm a long time, give me your banku.
So I'm gonna do the same for the main vocals. So I suppose the intro is supposed to be a main vocal, then your lead, my lead, then his lead is gonna be in the main vocals box. So you're gonna do the same now. You come over here, come over here, route to this track only. So for the backups, I'm gonna route all the backups to its own bus. So how I select is that I'm holding Control and Shift. That's how. So we have the main vocals and the backup vocals. So getting all set like this now, I'm gonna color all the vocals so I'll know where the vocals, so it won't be difficult for me to locate them. So I'm gonna change the color of all of them. I right clicked and I'll say change color, and I'm gonna use let's just say green for the vocals. Okay, so I'm gonna add a separator, and this is the buses. I'm gonna give this another color. I'm doing this because I want everything to not be hidden. I want it to be visible. So the way I've done this is that the green is my vocals, then this is my bus. Then I'm gonna add a separator now. So I'm gonna call this the reverb. I'll call this delay. So I'm gonna give this a color also. Let's say red. So this is my reverb and my delay, and I'll add a separator at the end. Always save your project. Don't forget to save your project. Very important. So the next thing I want to do is to show you how to correct the pitch on a vocal, how to correct the pitch. So if you can look here, you see a tiny icon. You just click on it and you locate pitch correct sample. That's you're going to correct the pitch. What this does is that it's going to open Newton, which is an inbuilt pitch corrector on FL Studio. So while Newton has loaded, I'm going to expand it. So I'm going to be showing you how to use Newton. If I hold Control and I scroll my mouse, as in this center button on your mouse, if I scroll, it's going to get more details. It's going to zoom in. If I should scroll back, it's going to zoom out. So if you want to edit any of the pitches here, you just have to double click on it. When you double click on it, once it shows an arrow, it means you can click and drag. It's going to go up. Then if the volume is too loud, you can reduce the volume of the sample. You can click here to increase the volume or to reduce the volume if any of them is too loud. So talking about the pitch correction.
No time, give me your banku. No time, give me your banku.
Okay, for example, now this pitch is not correct and I want to correct it. I'll just have to come to this knob up here which says center, and if you move this center button, what it does is that it takes all the informations to the middle.
No time, give me your banku. No time, give me your banku.
Then the variation is this should I say pitch, the pitch there. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So if I should tune this you see that if I should come back now, it's gonna straighten the pitch, just like in Cubase.
One more time, give me your banku. Baby say yes, make I magawu.
So once you're done editing the samples, once you're done editing the vocals, you can either send it to the playlist with this button here, or you save it and it's gonna automatically replace, but our advice is just send it to the playlist. So that's about pitch correction on FL Studio. So I'm gonna remove it, and always make sure that this fruity limiter is turned off before you start your mixing process, because this limiter is going to add gain. So you just turn it off first. So now that I've gotten everything set up like this, the next thing I want to do is to add my reverb, and I'll be using Valhalla reverb. Like I said before, you can select anyone you like. This is the mix. The mix is how much reverb you're adding. Then the decay is the distance. How far are you gonna hear the vocals? Then this pre-delay is to bring the vocal forward. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Then I'm gonna add my delay. I'm gonna be using the inbuilt delay in FL Studio. So this is my main vocal boss. This is where I'm gonna add my effect, and the effect is gonna work on all my main vocals and the backup. The way you mix your vocals, the way you mix your main vocals is gonna be different from the way you mix your backup vocals. So I'm gonna add a send, fruity send, because I want to send my vocals to the reverb and the delay. So I'm gonna add fruity send. I'll add another one again. Okay, so I'm gonna right click now. I'm gonna middle click on this, and it allows me to input a name, and I'm gonna put reverb, and I will put delay. So right now I'm gonna sidechain my vocals with the reverb. So, and this is how I'm gonna do it. So I clicked on here, this main vocal boss, and I'll right click here and say sidechain to this track. Okay, let me just give you an example now. So if I should play this vocal over here, okay, what I'm going to do now is to right click here and select the reverb, and I'm going to sidechain this. I'm going to sidechain the vocal to reverb and delay, which I just did now. So I'm going to click on this and right click here to select the reverb, and the second one I'm going to select my delay. So let me just play the vocal so I see what I'm talking about.
If loving you not taboo, girl I know, 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 girl I know.
Okay, so let me just mute the delay and talk about the reverb now. What sidechaining does. Okay, let me just play it again one more time.
If loving you not taboo.
So if I should solo this reverb now,
Give me your back.
so I can only hear the reverb, not the main vocals. I can just hear the reverb because I did a send over here. And that way you're gonna do this. Instead of sending the boss to the reverb, you can send them individually like this, adding a fruity send. you can just send them directly to the reverb and to the delay. But because this is a tutorial, I want to be fast, and I'm going to just do just the vocals, all of the vocals, just send them once.
If loving you not taboo.
So you can see we are hearing only the reverb, and like I told you before, the way you can treat your reverb is to add an EQ. So I'm gonna add an EQ under this reverb, and I'll be using parametric EQ. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the low of the reverb. If it's too bright, you can drop the highs a little bit. So for instance now, if this reverb now you've sent is too much, what you can do now is to come over here and reduce it, the amount of reverb I'm sending. Otherwise you can actually reduce this also.
Baby say yes, make I magawu. Ha, malobuga. Omoge waje katsumba. Ha, see the thing where you carry for back. Along with the sweet me like sugar. Ah, parabale, go soon baby. Baby suma me make we kukere. Make I be your 30G, make we sangere. Malo for jukere me omomo kunsile. I be your data, make we the what's.
Okay, that's how you do your sidechaining. So I'm going to sidechain also the delay. And how you set your delay is your feedback level is not supposed to be very high unless you want it to be. So for me, sometimes what I do is that I reduce my feedback to about 15% or 20%. And the weight, I'm going to reduce it a little bit, or I'm going to leave it like that because I can control the amount I'm sending from here, from this knob here. So let's just play it and see what it sounds like.
If loving you not taboo.
And one thing about delay is that delay works with your time, the tempo of your song. So I'm gonna check the ones that fit.
If loving you not taboo. Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Omo no time, give me your banku. Baby say yes, make I magawu. Ha, ha. If loving you not taboo. If loving you not taboo. Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Omo no time, give me your banku. Omo no time, give me your banku. Baby say.
So let me see how this blends with the song, with the beat. Sorry.
If loving you not taboo. 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 Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Omo no time, give me your banku. Omo no time, give me your banku. Baby say yes, make I magawu. Baby say yes, make I magawu. Ha, malobuga. Omoge waje katsumba. Ha, omoge waje where you carry for back. Along with the sweet me like sugar. Along with the sweet me like sugar.
This is actually supposed to be about either 8 or 4.
If loving you not taboo. Girl, I know mine, mo fe taku. Lobuga. Omoge waje katsumba. Ha, see the thing where you carry for back.
Instead of wasting time on this delay, you can as well use 4 o'clock.
Lobuga. Omoge waje katsumba. Ha, see the thing where you carry for back. Along with the sweet.
So I'm gonna reduce the amount of delay I'm sending because it's too much. So when you're adding your delay, you're not gonna add a lot because it's gonna be not pleasant to the listeners. If there's so much of delay and you master the song, everything is gonna be loud, over loud. So you're just gonna reduce it more.
Omoge wa je ka tunga ha see the thing where you carry for bag along it dey sweet me like sugar ha farabale ko sundere baby suma mi make ku kere make I be your 30G make ku sangere my love for you kere mi omo mo kun sile I be your data make.
And again, if you want to pan your delay, you can pan your delay.
Omoge wa je ka tunga ha see the thing where you carry for bag along it dey sweet me like sugar ha farabale ko sundere baby suma mi make ku kere make I be your 30G make ku sangere my love for you kere mi omo mo kun sile I be your data make.
Okay, so now that we've gotten everything set like this, the next thing I want to do is to add auto-tune. You're gonna add your auto-tune individually on all of these vocals, so let me just go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna add the auto-tune, and the way you use auto-tune is that you're gonna locate the key of the song.
Omoge wa je ka tunga ha see the thing where you carry for bag along it dey sweet me like sugar ha farabale ko sundere baby suma mi make ku kere make I be your 30G make ku sangere my love for you kere mi omo mo kun sile I be your data make we dey watch.
Okay, this is the key of A, so I'm going to select A right now. I'm going to select major, then the input type. If you're not using alto, tenor, or low male or soprano, I discovered that bass instruments works better than any of the presets, any of the input type. So what you're gonna do now, since you've gotten your auto tune here and you want to add them on other vocals, you just got to come to this triangle here and you're gonna say save preset as. You're gonna drag it down, it will bring it towards the next one, just like that, and so on. That's how you do it.
Omoge wa je ka tunga ha see the thing where you carry for bag along it dey sweet me like sugar ha farabale ko sundere baby suma mi make ku kere make I be your 30G make ku sangere my love for you kere mi omo mo kun sile I be your data make we dey WhatsApp I no go ever finish for your matter I should be backer make me your keeper make I keep it.
So what I want to do now, it's all my vocals. I'm gonna route these two to these all vocals, and how I'm gonna do that is the same way I did route to this track only. So this is all vocals. So what you're gonna be adding in these all vocals is either you add a compressor or any other effect you wanna do.
Omoge wa je ka tunga ha see the thing where you carry for bag along it dey sweet me like sugar farabale ko sundere baby suma mi make ku kere make I be.
The way you're gonna pan your backups, you're gonna pan anyhow you want, left, right, 50%, 30%. There is no particular way of panning your vocals. Just pan them left and right, left, right, 100%, 30%, however you want it.
If loving you not taboo, girl I no mind mo fe taku. Girl I no mind mo fe taku. Omo no time give me your banku.
So you can as well control all the vocals from here.
Girl I no mind mo fe taku.
So how you make your backup to make it not be clashing with your main vocals is that you're going to use an EQ. So I will be using parametric EQ. So you can cut off the high, a little bit of the high.
If loving you not taboo, girl I don't mind no fet taku.
So if you do it this way now, it's gonna be clearer.
If loving you not taboo, girl I don't mind no fet taku.
So I want to show you one more thing about your vocals. You have to double click on it and then come to this mode and you see cross fade bleeding. And what this does is that it's gonna add a crossfade at the end of, it's gonna add a crossfade so that everything just ends up smoothly. So let me just show you for example. So as you can see, you have a smooth fading.
You get it? Lucky mania. Got shit. If loving you not taboo, girl I don't mind no fet taku. I'm on no time, give me your banku. Baby say yes, make I magawu. Ha, malabuga, omoge waje katsunga.
So I think that will be the end of this tutorial for today, but if you still like me to continue on the next episode, you let me know and I'm gonna show you.